This is the very first in our series of Founders Thoughts, where we speak to some of the greatest minds and greatest innovators in the industry. And today I'm joined by Michael Schmieder, who's the CEO and founder of Twisto. Hi, Michael. Thanks so much for joining us today.
Great to be here, and thanks for using me for the pilot.
Well, it's kind of fitting because you were actually one of our first customers in Europe. So yeah, we're honoured to have you here with us today. Just wanted to start off with a bit of a summary. I've been doing some digging around. So you're educated at King's College in London. You've lived in the US, UK, and Russia. You were named Forbes 30 under 30 and founding Twisto in 2013, 8 years later, being acquired by Zip. So where did it all go wrong for you?
So it's been quite a journey. So really from the beginning, born in Prague,
Yeah,
so a Czech person, but I was very fortunate to travel the world and spend some time in some of the bigger cities
yeah,
outside of Czech Republic. Started my career at investment banking,
yeah,
2000 2009. So timing is everything. So I joined
yeah.
almost when Lehman Brothers collapsed.
Oh, wow.
So I spent 3 years kind of from the bottom, riding up the wave after the crisis, which was interesting. But ultimately, I always saw that the way forward is to start my own business.
For those who may not be familiar with Twisto, can you give us a very quick elevator pitch?
Of course. So we started as a very traditional buy now pay later provider, focusing on e-commerce and really empowering merchants to make more sales online through deferred payment, but also really to disrupt the consumer finance industry, which was really back then dominated. It's actually 8 years ago, so it's a very long time ago.
Yeah, yeah,
Dominated by banks, big incumbent consumer finance companies, and we thought there must be a better way to finance purchases to be much more customer centric. So we really started with a simple point of sale financing proposition, which over time has evolved into really a daily payments, daily financing
yeah,
instrument. And that's where we started working together with Marqeta as well, is
yeah.
empowering consumers to use the buy now, pay later in the brick and mortar context by issuing physical and virtual cards. So really evolved from a single product into a fully fledged daily payments, daily finance company that has an ambition to build a European business over time.
Yeah, sure. And where do your best ideas come from today to keep the business moving forward and ensuring that you're going to, continue to innovate?
So I think on one side, it still comes from the consumer,
Yeah,
and we are very close to consumers. So even when we were still sitting in the office, the customer care team was sitting just a couple of meters away from us or from the product and marketing people. And I
yeah,
think this is what really also differentiates fintechs to banks is that you're not separated by floors or big buildings, but you all sit, in a, I don't want to say a single open space,
yeah,
but you can really, you get a lot of feedback from consumers and also from merchants. And I think that's ultimately something where we take majority of our inspiration, and then it's on one level, on the other, it's speaking to founders of other companies in different markets. So we get a lot of inspiration when you look at the models or products in Japan
yeah.
or South America. I think there are some super innovative payment approaches that we can then take to our markets and implement.
Yeah, and in terms of other founders, for those people that are at the start of their journey of launching a financial product, what piece of advice do you think would have been most helpful to you when you were in that same position?
So a good question. I think this is maybe not a piece of advice, but kind of a big learning that
Yeah,
building a financial institution or anything that's disrupting a very regulated market, which also is quite complex when it comes to product, the setup, and the commercials. There is no such a thing as an overnight success. So it's not like building
yeah,
an e-commerce site where you start selling shoes across Europe. It's a
yeah,
very complex product.
yeah,
Uh, so I think patience and longevity are super crucial when anybody wants to build a financial or a startup challenging the financial institutions. So really a lot of persistence, and it just takes a lot of time. Even when you look at Klarna, they've been in the market for 16 years. When you look at Zip, they've been building it for 8 years, same as Twisto. So it
yeah,
really does take a lot of time to build
yeah,
I don't say even a global company because we haven't built it as Twisto, but now becoming part of Zip.
Yeah.
But it takes a lot of time.
Yeah. Okay. And so looking ahead to the future, what do you see as the prominent payment trends over the next 3 to 5 years? And how are you already starting to consider how they might feature in your own product roadmap?
Sure. So I think maybe taking it holistically on the buy now, pay later as a whole, I think it's
Yeah.
still at the infancy. So I think when you look at the overall share of buy now, pay later in e-commerce, I think a majority of markets will be maybe 2 to 3%. If you
Yeah.
look at card payments, it's maybe 20, 30% or even 40% in some markets, and intrabank payments are similar size to that. So I think it's about going forward. I think I'm not saying that buy now pay later will overtake cards or card payments online, but I think I could see in the next 5 years buy now pay later representing maybe 10 to 15% of overall e-commerce. So I think that shift to online, but also
Yeah.
consumers realizing there's a better way to pay online and to manage my finances and be really smart about the way I shop. I think it's going to be a big trend going forward. And the next trend that's going to follow will be responsible lending. So making sure that with the emergence of buy now, pay later, are we lending responsibly, especially to the younger consumer base. So big
Yeah.
portion of our clients are millennials,
Yeah.
younger customers.
Yeah.
So we really need to be diligent in assessing the credit risk, but also their ability to repay over time. So I think there's a big topic in the UK and also a
Yes.
big topic emerging across Europe.
And in terms of your experience at Twisto so far, what would you say has been the best day that you've had at the business?
The best day I had in the business. There were probably a lot of good days.
Yeah.
I think there's also always a big excitement around new product launches.
Yeah.
And I'll give you an example that happened a couple of days ago, and you're part of it.
Yeah.
It's launching the single use cards for installments. So basically, a consumer can go to our app, they can
Yeah.
generate a virtual card, and they can pre-select the amount on the card, but also the number of installments. So when you go
Okay.
and buy that iPhone with that card, we automatically split it into the installments that you have pre-selected in the app. So it's really
Okay.
kind of
Yeah.
creating another feature within the app, which is empowering the consumer to make a smart shopping decision, which is starting in the mobile app, and then when you go and make that purchase, it's a super seamless,
Yeah.
process. So it's always a great day when we launch a new product.
Yeah.
We always get also super excited with new senior hires to the team, and we've
Okay.
been very fortunate to hire some very smart people over the past couple of
Yeah.
months. So it's always an exciting moment.
And in your time at Twisto, what would you say have been the most difficult times and the most rewarding times as a CEO of a fintech startup?
Sure. So I think, and these are both most rewarding and most stressful, is every fundraise.
Okay. Yes.
And it's
Understandably.
always, it is always a process. It's always a process of getting to know the investor and obviously then getting to know us.
Yeah.
There are a lot of ups and downs, a lot of expectations which are then not fulfilled.
Yeah.
So a lot of ups and downs with fundraising. Obviously now we're super excited with the Zip and us becoming part of Zip globally. So the most exciting moment probably from the past couple of months is really becoming part of the Zip family. That's been really a game-changing thing that's also going to move Twisto from a regional player into the global scene, and it enables us also to look at some of the Western European markets in the coming months and years.
Yeah. And do you think it's important to make mistakes as part of the journey, or would you prefer a smoother run of things?
Look, I would love a smooth run. And it feels like we don't have a smooth day,
Yeah.
for the last
Yeah.
8 years. So you can always have, a great day. So, launching a new
Yeah.
product, hiring a new team member, but there will always be a message end of the day or an email that will throw you off.
And just to wrap things up, Michael, what are the things that keep you awake at night, and what are you most optimistic about for the future?
So apart from my two boys, so I think it's really kind of the speed of execution. So I think what we're seeing, especially right now, with sizable fundraising rounds, IPOs,
Yeah.
there's really a land grab opportunity happening not only in Europe but globally.
Yeah.
So I think it's really around what keeps me up at night is kind of the scalability of our platform, the speed of launching a new market, launching a new product,
Okay.
which comes on a level of tech, but also the talent behind it, the people that can
Yeah.
help us scale and deliver on those visions. So it's really around, can we be quick enough to really capture the opportunity and front run some of the other guys who are racing with us or
Yeah.
against us in the race? Even though I think the global buy now pay later market is big enough for many players and many,
Yeah, it
top
is.
five.
Yes.
But it's really kind of the speed of execution, and are we quick enough? Are we doing really our maximum to win today?
Okay, that's great. Well, Michael, thank you so much. It's a pleasure, as always, speaking with you, and really appreciate you being the first of these series of Founders Thoughts. So thank you again for your time today.
It's been a pleasure. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.